Are you guys okay?
You guys?
Ain't that pretty? Hanging there like that? Now y'all stick around, because we'll be getting on with it in a minute.
Hello. Okay, so now I think it's time for us to do our final review of the KMS Performance MTS Off-Road Triple Toon on our X3. You know, so far we've shown you a lot of the behind-the-scenes process of the tunes themselves. We've shown you the numbers, like off the dyno. The numbers are the numbers. We've shown you some short clips of the rides that we've been able to take so far in Glamis and in Pismo. But now's the time where we feel like we get to really tell you how we feel about the car, and show you some awesome ride footage that we were able to get in Pismo and in Glamis after the tunes. I mean, right?
Getting ready to go for a ride. First time in Pismo with the KMS MTS Toon Can-Am X3. It's gonna be badass.
Hello everybody, we are getting ready to hit the sand in Pismo, President's Day weekend 2019. Hi babe.
Hello.
We are super excited. Why?
Because this is the first time here, back in Pismo, our kind of backyard, with the car after it got triple tuned, and we're gonna go test it out.
Super excited. So let's see what these shocks can do in this Pismo business, because the sand is nice and choppy today. It's been raining, so it's that hard sand. We're here with our peeps right there. There they are. So we got the Sebastians, Scott and Pam, and my son Brody's in the back, along with their daughter Sam. And then we got the Jacksons, and they have the boys, Rob and Blake, in the back.
Yeah,
Blake just graduated from boot camp, Marine Corps. Man, I can't tell you. Like, Glamis is our favorite spot, but really nowhere else. Look at this. Like, here's us riding, and there's the ocean. I keep doing that, but that's awesome, guys. If you haven't had a chance to get out to Pismo, I highly suggest that you make this trip, and hit us up when you do. Woo! This is it, dude. This is it. This is dialed, yeah, so far.
I know. The suspension's unbelievable.
Car and the handling, you feel it? Oh, where's this going? Secret entrance, they opened it for us. I called ahead. Surprise!
Weird.
It is
Weird.
But awesome weird. Look at all this. And it's still not busy today. Okay, so we both had high hopes for the tune in general, like the triple tune that we got. But I know that we were both like still shocked, really surprised with the overall performance difference, pre-tune versus post-tune, and we'll talk about like kind of the difference. We'll compare it to the way we felt when we went from our Razor, the 2015 RZR XP 1000, to the Can-Am, right?
So the jump from a 2015 non-turbo, no front sway bar, 18 inches of wheel travel in the rear, 16 in the front, Razor, which is a really good car. We love that.
We loved it.
We put 3,000 miles on that car. But the jump from that to the Can-Am stuff was huge. It was about 40 horsepower. I don't know what that is to the wheels. We're comparing apples to oranges a little bit because now we're doing dyno runs. But anyway, it's about 40 horsepower to the crank. So, and the other thing is the suspension. So the 18 and the 16, it was real usable, but it was a little spongy. But one of the things was the Razor was really smooth through the choppy stuff. If you backed off the compression, it was a really smooth car, but it had a lot of body roll, so it was easy to roll. We found that out. We did roll it. And it was, so you had to be on guard at all times. Also it was easy to bottom out, even with the horsepower it had. And granted, I mean, 110 horsepower, you're probably only putting, what, maybe 80 to the ground or something.
But it felt good.
Yeah,
we loved
it felt
that
good.
car.
It was a little bit lighter car. Really good car. You go up to the Can-Am, The Can-Am out of the box is putting 130 to the ground. We now know that from the numbers. And it's got 24 inches of travel in the rear, 20 in the front, 22 in the front, whatever it is. A lot more suspension, front sway bar, a lot more stable car, a wider car, a longer car, a planted car. The chops in a stock X3, it's a little rough.
It was. It beat you up a little bit. You had to go faster to make it through that.
Yeah, if you wanted to not feel the chops, you just had to hammer down.
And I feel like you were constantly like adjusting.
That's the comparison we would make. That's about the same jump. The car in general, the seat of the pants, the performance, how it feels, how it drives, how planted it is, about that same jump. Going from an RZR, 2015 RZR to the stock Can-Am, and then comparing that to going from the stock Can-Am to the tuned Can-Am.
Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Jump. Like buying a whole new car.
It is a new car. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things like really that we've both talked about a lot, because I feel it from passenger seat. I'm really attuned. I'm part of this car. The throttle response, like that go power. How do you feel about that? You're the guy. You're the go.
The response.
The response. That is the throttle response.
So the throttle response is huge, and that you can contribute that to both the ECU and the clutch tune because it's instant. The difference again. So we had the Razor. We went to the Can-Am. When we got the Can-Am, that initial throttle response felt a little lacking compared to the Razor. That initial, like right off the line. Not that it wasn't faster, it's way faster. I always attributed that to turbo lag.
Like the difference between driving the Chevy and the Ford.
Turns out it wasn't turbo lag. Probably more clutching as far as that part of it, but then when you add the additional horsepower to the fact that the clutch engages quicker, it's harder off the line, it's huge throttle response. You can see it in some of the clips, and we'll show those.
We'll show these clips right now. Roll footage.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm not driving, but I feel like I am because I know what this car feels like. And that, when you hit it like that, that immediate, burst that we did not have before, I didn't even know we could do it, just whoop, it's kind of like, it takes me by surprise. Okay, so when we were out in Glamis doing that initial test and tune with Ned, he, every time we stopped, he was like, okay, how does it feel controllability wise? Like, do you feel like you're in control of the car? And I don't think I really understood what he was talking about until I understood what he was talking about. Controllability, like after the shock tune, how do you feel as far as being in control still? Even with the addition of the horsepower and everything else, like how did you feel?
Well, so that's a huge thing because this car in stock form suspension with this much horsepower, it'd probably be a little bit scary because it was already, you already experienced the Can-Am, like I said, is more stable than the Razor was. Not comparing to a Turbo S or a Turbo. I'm talking about a 2015 NA car with no front sway bar. So, but you still get some body roll. We definitely have put that car up on two wheels a few times. But the controllability. So say you go into the whoops, right? I don't know, fair speed. We would hit them, I don't know, probably 50 miles an hour. It'd be about the best we could do. That run along the 78.
Before you started to feel like you were.
So about the best we could do would be about 50 miles an hour. And the car, pretty soon you can feel, you're starting to lose control of the car. It's wanting to, the back end's wanting to come around. You can't stay in the throttle because, you can tell that you're landing on throttle, which will break axles. Just in general, it's starting to buck, starting to throw you out of the seat. You just feel out of control in general. After the tune, we hit that section at 70 miles an hour. And of course, you know, you're getting bounced around a little bit, but you can see it in the video. We'll put that up.
Put that up, yeah, definitely.
But I'm holding onto the wheel with both hands, but I'm not gripping it. I'm not losing control. I'm in control of the car. The wheel's pointed straight forward. I'm not having to get in and out of the throttle. I'm not having to hit the brakes. It's not getting sketched out, trying to, you know, Atkins not coming around. We're not bottoming out. Just the car's in control. Hammer down, go.
Hammer down and go. I like it. I like it.
We're gonna go a little faster this time.
Good. Oh, yeah, that was a wheelie. Okay, so now one of the things that like this is one of those things that just is annoying to me. It was always annoying, but you know, whatever. That slow speed chatter that you get, like when you're just heading out, and you know, some of that just rough choppiness where everybody's already kind of driven out, leaving camp, and you're hitting that spot that everybody's already kind of chopped up for you. How does, to me, I know how it felt to me as a passenger, but how did you feel as a driver?
So that was one of the things that really shined in Pismo. We, you know, of course you notice it in Glamis too, but for anyone that rides both Glamis and Pismo, you'll know there's a big difference in the sand. It's generally more wet in Pismo as opposed to Glamis. Sand's usually drier, softer, smoother in Glamis. Mm-hmm. In Pismo, we get really bad chopped up stuff. Kids driving their quads and trucks, and you know, it's just chopped up in general. And when we pulled out from camp, I was blown away. When we, you know, we headed down that, I was looking out the door and looking around, and we went up and down, and I looked for rough spots. I mean, isn't that how you felt?
That's exactly how I felt. And I actually did drive it. You know, I didn't go out into the dunes, but I did drive, took Brenda for a ride and took the kids for a ride, and just went out like around camp, which is like really the choppy part, because that's where everybody lets their kids ride. That's where he lets his kids ride. So I was surprised because I could tell a difference as a passenger, and then taking it out and driving it in that same spot, it was amazing to me. Amazing.
Yeah, the chop's amazing. To be able to get the chop to be that smooth and be able to jump the car. We don't jump huge, but we do jump the car.
We do.
And to be able to hit the whoops, and we hit whoops that have chop in them, so it can be a mixture. It's not just some whoops along the section of a trail. It's, you know, big G-outs, all of that. So it handles all that and rides like a Cadillac through the smooth
just
stuff.
to have a tune that does all of it.
Yeah. So Brody, when Brody rode in the passenger side, I said, you know, how do you feel? What does it feel like to you? And he said, I feel like I'm just in a car driving down the road.
And that's big because my son is mouthy. He'll tell you.
Exactly. The suspension feels amazing, right?
Yes, it feels so good. It's just soaking everything up. I'm telling you, I've never ridden in like a big rig, but we see those air ride seats where I've seen it, where they're like over the bumps and they just cush, 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 cush. That's what it feels like to me. Wet whoops. That's my hashtag I keep using. Wet whoops. Nice. This is awesome. I'm just gonna, God. I'm gonna point it this way so you can watch our faces, because we got a GoPro on the back too, to check out what's going on behind us. We are in some nasty whoops right now, but I think it feels good, so. Woo! Kelly, Ned, Russ, Craig, Jeep, JD. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no BS. This car feels crazy.
We would tell you if it didn't, because we'd be coming back. And hey, Dean, hope you're having fun in Glamis.
Drop.
Oh yeah, I should get on my get on the horn occasionally. Get ready for that. May encounter some types of perilous situations when riding in this terrain. Woo! This is good. This feels good. And I don't know. I'm not driving, but I feel like I am because I know what this car feels like. And that when you hit it like that, that immediate like burst that we did not have before. I didn't even know we could do it. Just whoop. It's kind of like it takes me by surprise. Oh shit! Get out on a little bit of flat, smoother sand, and that's when you see it. To the tracks, to the tracks. I'm gonna get you while this is still fresh. We're gonna be riding all weekend. This is our first ride. Tell me and tell everybody how it feels.
This car, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing it feels. One, this is Pismo after a rain, and anybody that knows it, it's washed out, beaten, nasty. I mean, beat up, and we're just floating over it. And the horsepower, holy crap.
That was ridiculous. It's like it's two, here's some whoops, some big ones. What whoops? Hashtag what whoops? I'm just cozy. Moseying along. This is I want to say,
Man,
holy
this thing's ridiculous.
cannoli. I don't know what to say. Oh, here's that real whooped out section. And just, I don't know, just talking. I could do my nails right now. Oh, my voice is going to be hoarse again. Can you hear it? You guys made me have like a real hoarse sounding voice from all this yelling and stuff in this car. Good yells though. Oh man, you should do a
Let's find the bowl. These guys are going to want to ride some bowls.
Oh yeah, let's find the bolts.
Right now, we're just making them work through whoops and
Yeah, let's
speed
not.
runs.
Oh yeah, they hate that. Let's get out of it. They hate that kind.
You can't laugh at us because this was not a huge jump. It's just that the ramp to the jump was really steep. So when we launched, we went kind of straight up, high, and then kind of straight down.
Right.
And in midair, I said, "Oh shit!"
Which is not allowed usually. I don't like that.
Yeah. So I had enough time to say "oh shit," and the reason I said "oh shit" is because when we shot that high in the air, you're talking about a short distance. You know, if you're way up in the air and you're traveling a long distance and you're gradually coming down, that's one thing. But when you shoot way up in the air and you know you're coming right back down, you're expecting it to not be that great.
Because we've done it before.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
And it hurt.
It didn't.
So I was expecting something, and when we landed, it was pretty smooth. I laughed. We laughed.
We laughed.
Talked about it afterwards, and we'll show that clip.
Yeah. Go.
Here we are. Here we are.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit is right. Oh god dang it. Oh, and we're not doing it again. Because that's when you break stuff. But that was crazy.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. This is not a comparison between like shock tune companies. This is a comparison of MTS's shock tune and between on a stock car. This is a comparison of the MTS shock tune versus a stock car, our stock X3 to be specific. You know, we know that shock therapy's out there and they have good product, and we had already kind of decided to go with MTS. And it was not just based on the price point. It was much more than that, right?
Yeah, definitely. So when we say that, you know, other companies are out there, we mentioned the shock therapy, and the reason we mention them is because the other large, or at least they're the other tuner out there, shock tuner out there with the large presence,
Right.
that you can, you know, that we know about, that we can bundle up our shocks and send them to them and get them tuned. or we can stop there in Glamis and
Right.
have them tuned. There are other tuners. They're not the only ones. There are other people in the game. We're not familiar with the other ones, so those are the ones we were focused on. Those are the ones we looked into. And one of the reasons that we decided to go with MTS versus Shock Therapy was not so much, like you said, based on price, but their style of tuning.
Right.
So we wanted more spring rate, and the reason we wanted to go with a company that uses more spring rate, larger springs, is that the way we do them, we'll go out for hours at a time sometimes. You know, we take little breaks and stuff, but if you look back at the video where we got the shock tune, or what was it called? We'll put a link down here.
Right, we'll put a link.
If you look at that video, okay, so like I was saying before, I got so rudely interrupted by the GoPro shutting off.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we like the idea of more spring rate is that, you know, like I said, we go out for long rides. We hit lots of G-outs, lots of whoops. The suspension gets used a lot when you're doing. And I feel like that if we were relying mostly on valving, that the shocks would heat up, and we would, you know, we would feel the effects of that through fade. I've felt that before. We've experienced that in the Razor. We experienced it in the car we used to have. And I feel like with more spring rate, there's a better chance that we're going to experience the fade less often.
All right, well, like you said, our riding style, the places that we ride, we say like 3D terrain. We have the whoops, the chop, like all at the same time. It's not just a, you know.
Yeah. So the way I always compare dunes to trail riding to, you know, like up in the mountains or out in the desert or whatever, is 3D versus 2D. So in the dunes, we're constantly, I mean, we're never in a flat. It's we're either going up, we're going down, going over something, going through whoops, G-outs, transitions, always nonstop. That never ends. When you're on a trail, even a rough trail, you know, you got some bumps and whatnot. You might have some pretty good whoops, but you know, it's 2D. It's more, you know, there's more flat surface than there is in the dunes.
Right, and then also I think we like the fact that, you know, MTS, they use the iBox springs all the way around, those American made.
Yeah, I like the idea that they use the iBox, that they replace all 4 springs all the way around with longer springs, iBox springs. We were definitely on board with that.
Definitely impressed. And you know, like we said earlier, we've said it a million times, we drove Dean's car. It made us want the MTS Off-Road shock tune right away, but we really didn't have that big, like this much of an idea of how drastic the change would be and how.
Yeah, well, you're test driving someone else's car. You're not, you know.
You can't drive it like you stole it. You're driving it like you borrowed it.
Yeah, you're not going to go out for hours and just drive the, you know, hammer down on the throttle and push it as hard as you can until you bottom it out. Push it as hard as you can until, you know, you overheat the shocks. When it's your own car, you know, you can do what you want, and you have time to try it out.
Well, speaking of that, I think you'll insert Pismo footage here so we can show you what we're talking about when we say hammer down and just get it, like really put it to the test.
And some Glamis too, yeah, definitely. Okay, so we've been to Glamis, we've been to Pismo, we've talked about how we feel about the car in this video that you're watching right now. We're getting ready to show you the car in action. It's awesome. I think we've covered all the bases. You know, we got a ECU, clutch, and shock tune. Those processes are covered in previous videos. Please go back and watch those. Brandy will tell you about the prices for each of those products. We think they're well worth it. We give it a 4 thumbs up.
4 big ones.
So, yeah, if you want to tell them.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if we threw this out there, so I want to do it now. So we have the 91 octane power package from KMS Performance on our car. You know, we got triple tuned. We call them Trip now. But the 91 octane power package at KMS Performance, well worth the $1,595 it costs. Like that, to me, is unbeatable. I'll put links below to their Facebook page so you can reach out to Kelly and Stephanie, and if you have any questions or if you're interested in setting something up. So I'll also put links below to the MTS Off-Road page, in case you're interested in that, around $1,600 for the shock tune, which gives you that suspension that you need with that power. I suggest the triple tune for everybody. And like I said, links below to their Facebook page. You can reach out to Greg or Ned, Russ, and ask them if you have questions. But just do it all. That's my advice.
Yeah, the cars, it's a tough, like we said already in the video, I'm not going to say it over and over, totally different car. The horsepower, you can feel it. It put 174 to the dyno from 130. They like to say, and it makes sense.
Yeah, it's horsepower per dollar. And speaking of like riding, we're not going to be doing it, but I just want to, we're going to be road tripping, because guess what?
On back to Phoenix.
So you won't hear from us for a few days.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to upload videos for a few days, which we hate, but, you know.
But we got to do what we got to do.
We got to go get more video. We have some more exciting stuff coming up. We're going to Phoenix. We'll have that video out next week.
Yeah.
And then, in the fall, we might have something else going on with Trip.
Can he get faster?
Possibly.
Can he get more, can he just get more betterer?
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
I'm excited.
There's always room for growth.
And they are always out there doing R&D, so another reason we love those companies.
Yeah, there you go. But I think that covers it. You got to check out this riding video. It's pretty awesome. Ned and
JD.
Yeah, Ned and JD, they rode like crazy people behind us with JD holding the camera.
They're lunatics, those two.
Yeah, and they killed it. They got some really good video. Someone on Instagram called it epic.
And they said it looked computer generated.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real deal, I promise you that.
It's the real deal.
It is.
We're out.
4 thumbs up.
We're headed to Phoenix. We'll see you when we get back.
Yeah.
We'll get some video up. Peace.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, here's that real whooped out section. And just, I don't know, just talking. I could do my nails right now. Oh, my voice is going to be hoarse again. Can you hear it? It just feels good. You come back and you're not beat up, you know? It makes things more enjoyable. Traffic at the top of the hill parked.
Let's go catch some of these.
Let's go get some bowls. Oh, whoa, that's a little, that'll get you right there. Don't do that. Oh, we got some peoples over here. That would have been a G out, kind of.
A little wheelie right there. A
Yeah,
little bit of
wheelie action. Let's see these guys. And this is... Let's soak it in for a minute, get some ride footage. Uh-oh, sand wall. Yeah, landing on a pillow. Oh, you wanted to go through the little gate. This is, I can't believe they set up a racetrack for us.
Yeah, so we're having a little fun in two-wheel drive today. So pitching a little sideways, which you got to be careful with, but, you know.
But we're trying to do test and tune for you guys so we can work it out every way.
Like that.
Oh, shoot! Did that look good?
Yeah.
and hold it. Are you guys okay?
You guys good? Yeah, we're good.
Everybody, okay. So get them out.
Quick.
Everybody's good. Everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. video. We would really appreciate it if you guys enjoy our stuff. If you would go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. If you are subscribed, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. You guys allow us to do all this cool stuff and we get to share it with you. We love that. Please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. If you have questions, we are more than happy to talk with you guys. We consider you guys to be friends. Off-roaders, we're family. And like it. Give us that thumbs up. It helps us too. And if you don't like it, tell us that also. Just hit the dislike button 2 times, like twice as much hate, and we'll get it. We will work on it.
Yeah, we love the comments.
We love them.
And you brought up a good point. This happened. All this happened. The tune. This all happened. This trip. All of it was because of you guys. So thanks. We appreciate it. We do appreciate it, like more than we can express. So thank you. Hope you enjoy, and we will be back next week with more awesome footage as we head back out to SynFab Industries to meet up with KMS Performance. We're going to hook up with Ned at some point too from MTS Off-Road. We're going to film some more awesome footage. We're going to get some dyno run stuff for you guys. So looking forward to it, and that'll be, as soon as we get back into town, we'll be working on that. So have a good weekend, guys. Hope you guys get to ride. Peace.